We're just going to interrupt Andrew Gold there on Moorlands Gold and bring in Neil Baker, the first team manager of Leek Town. Neil, give us your assessment of that game.
Tough. I thought it was two decent sides. It was an entertaining game to watch. Too much excitement in our box. I thought, on chances, I think we did enough to win the game.
Quality chances definitely fell to your side, didn't they?
Yeah, I thought so. They played good football and they got quite a number of balls into our box. Well, I thought we defended them well, considering we got two of our back four out. You know, we've got two young lads in there who never played together. I thought Lewis Billingham was exceptional at right back and at centre half, and particularly with the pace he had with young Bailey up front. You know, he was a constant threat all night, and you know, Ollie isn't slow, but Lewis is quick, and he dealt with him fine.
He did, and you obviously took Scott Warner off at half time, and I take it that you're obviously fit enough to start the game, and you just thought it was precautionary to bring him off.
Well, he came in and had a fitness test. You know my thoughts on players with hamstrings. I don't normally play them. Tonight was a little bit different because we hadn't got Jess available through illness. And I wouldn't have played Scott, but Scott come in and said he felt fine, which was great attitude. I like that. Maybe poor judgment, because the last thing I want to do is lose him for weeks. But he was feeling it at half time, and he felt it was the right thing to do. So we had to reorganise, which we did. Started the second half well. What we're stuttering a little bit at the moment, and I'm not too concerned about that because we're not poor. None of the players are playing poorly. They're all having a real good go. They're all playing okay. What I've said to them, okay isn't enough. I need 7 or 8 players playing at a good standard. At the moment, we're not all hitting those standards, but we're okay.
We noticed that you moved the ball a lot quicker tonight. You know, there were some passes fairly fizzing around the pitch, and it was pleasing on the eye to see that, wasn't it?
Always, yeah. That's how we practice. That's how I want us to play, and that's how we try and play. Maybe didn't make as many chances, but when they did come along, they were good chances. They weren't half chances. You know, you always felt you do need that second goal in any game, and particularly tonight. And you know, Danny Trickett's was a great chance when he shot past the far post, and I think Rob was unmarked at the back post. Them are the fine margins I'm talking to him about. 2-0, it's a different game.
Yeah, but we talked about that actually, Neil, about he did ever so well, got his head on, put himself in position, looked up, saw the far post. If the ball had been a foot further out, it was a tap-in. Yeah,
that's right. Listen, Danny's done fine tonight. Really, really pleased with him. I thought he was one of our better players. He was creative, he got a lot of the ball, playing in that central position. Suits him more than playing out wide. But a lot of players are playing with this defensive midfield play, which counteracts his position. So, you know, we try and get him coming in and finding them number 10 spots from the flank rather than from central positions. But I was really pleased with Dan tonight.
Well, for once we didn't have a referee that was the star of the show, but we had a couple of questionable offsides, and I think I counted 3 of Gricey because they were sort of between me and Rich, and they looked dubious.
Even the linesman admitted the first one. He wasn't sure he got that right. I said, well, keep your flag down then. But no, listen, we're not complaining about the officials tonight. They were good, you could speak to them. No problem with them at all tonight.
So obviously a difficult trip up to Clitheroe this coming Saturday, and again I suppose it's just waiting to see whether Scott Warren recovers enough before you go and shuffle the pack up there.
Yeah, I don't think I'd risk Scott for that at this moment in time. Those are my thoughts, not to risk him. So obviously Jesse's suspended. We'll have a look on Thursday.
And that's 2 games, not 3, isn't it?
That's 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 league games. Still got good competition in midfield and up front, but a little bit thin on the ground at the back, which is, you know, you always want to settle defence, a settled back 3, 4, whatever we play. So yeah, we're going to give that some consideration.
But it is going to be a difficult game because that's another side that are looking to advance into the playoffs.
Every game, and the playoffs, I've said for years, you know, they weren't everybody's cup of tea when they come in, but they keep the league interesting, don't they? There's very few dead rubbers. So yeah, it's a tough place to go. It's a place where we've got a very good record. I watched them the other week. They fell away a little bit, but won on Saturday. So you know, maybe looking for a little bit of a resurgence now. But you know, we'll give our best as we always do, and if we play well enough, we'll win the game.
And finally, final question: you pay much attention to Workington, or just let them get on with it, and what'll be will be?
I'd be wrong to say no, I don't, because this stage of the season you are paying attention to more results than you do early on. You know, we had a 6-point gap on them before last weekend, which is obviously narrowed down now because they won again. I think that puts us a point in front, does it? So, a lot of games to play still. Can go anyway. Looking at our away record, I don't think we'll be too disappointed in having to go away if we have to in the playoffs.
Well, there's been a few people that have mentioned this, it's a common thing, but Neil, thanks for doing it. It's an interesting game, listen, it was a good quality game, and that's what you want to see, because those supporters, as George Andrews has just said, they've gone away happy.
That's good.
Absolutely. That's Neil Baker on Moorlands Go on Moorlands Radio.